As soon as the decision was made that Phillip was moving to the Big Smoke, all the Sydney grade clubs decided to take a leisurely 5-hour drive to Maxwell with the aim of securing Phillip for their respective clubs. Phillip and the family made the decision that the best outcome would be to join Neil DaCosta, who would coach and mentor Phillip. Neil had already planned a path for Phillip, which at the same time seemed somewhat ambitious, to say the least. The goal was for Phillip to replace Matthew Hayden when he retired from the Australian cricket team. Neil openly said to Phillip that it would take hard work, dedication, tenacity, commitment, drive, and the ability to listen and learn to achieve this goal, and had one simple question for Phillip: are you ready for it? And without hesitation, Phillip said yes. I'm so proud that Phillip actually achieved this. Goal of playing for Australia and indeed replacing the great Matthew Hayden. I was fortunate enough to be at Pratton Park when Phillip made his grade debut for West's second 11 in a one-day match. As I quietly sat on the grass, there were a number of West Old boys congregating close to the canteen, which was not too far from where I was sitting. When Phillip appeared from the change rooms, padded up and heading out to the middle, the comments started. With the first, geez, he's small. The second, has he got the power to hit the ball off the square? I had a quiet chuckle to myself at the time and thought, gee, this is going to be interesting. Phillip moved to 10, then to the 20s, into the 30s, and passing 50 with controlled aggression. And with each boundary, he gained more and more respect from the old boys. As the innings progressed, the crowd started to build, with the majority of other grades finishing their matches and returning to Pratton Park to watch the little kid from the country bat. When he rose the bat for his century, there was a large applause, and listening to the now comments of the old boys, if I wasn't there previously, you would actually think that there was a 6-foot man batting in the middle, hitting every ball before. I think this is a great example of how Phillip let his performance do the talking. Moving to Sydney presented Phillip with a number of new challenges, like moving into a unit at Breakfast Point with 2 other young men chasing their sporting dreams, Matthew Day, fondly known as Daisy, who excelled at both rugby and cricket, and Cozzy, Matthew Costello, a budding soccer player. On my frequent visits to their apartment, I can tell you cleaning and washing were not strong points for the boys. This seemed to be a theme with Phillip even when his brother moved to Sydney some 12 months later. I think I can also add cooking to the list of challenges. And as a result, the boys were on the first name basis with all the restaurants at Breakfast Point and also the pub bistro. One domestic duty Phillip excelled at was ironing, and boy could he iron. This was driven by his desire to look good. He loved to buy the latest clothes and thought himself as a bit of a fashionista. He would often spend hours getting ready and certainly loved a mirror. When Phillip had finished admiring himself, he was ready to go, with not a single crease in his shirt or a single hair out of place. Phillip was always a country boy at heart, but loved the finer things that the city could offer him. Whilst his achievements in cricket gave him opportunities to live in multiple states, countries, tour nationally and internationally, Phillip never changed and still called Maxwell home. When he got knocked down, he would simply dust himself off, set goals to get better. I'd never, ever once heard him complain about being dropped from the Australian team. His mental strength was beyond his years. And when he faced a situation, he would treat it as another challenge that he would overcome and believe that he would come back bigger and stronger and preferring to pile on runs. To everyone from Maxwell, throughout Australia and around the world who have sent messages, gifts and heartfelt thoughts of support at this time of need, our family and friends pass on their appreciation. It is truly amazing that a tragic event has touched so many. Phillip simply loved cricket, his family, friends and fans. But was the happiest on the farm with his dad and the cow. If you're a mate, he was loyal as they come, his generosity was profound, and Phillip had great respect for everyone that played a part in his life. As you all played your own part of making him the man he became. I would like to leave you with one final quote that was sent to me by a close family friend post Phillip's passing. He who lives in the heart of so many never dies. I'll miss you greatly, cuz, but I'll never forget you and the great times we shared. Thank you.
And now it's my privilege to invite Jason and Megan forward to share their letters for their brother.
A letter to my brother. Dear Wolf, I have decided to write you this letter as it's the best way I can express my feelings and let you know how much you mean to me. As I start writing, I realise this is the most important letter I will ever write. There has been a lot said in the last week, but I thought a nice little letter would sum it all up for us and could be kept forever. I couldn't have asked for a better little brother. From a very young age, you were destined to be our rock star. You moved to Sydney at the age of 17 with 70 centuries already to your name, with your homegrown technique. All I ever wanted was for you to look up to me as your big brother. I still can't believe that I'm here saying my final goodbyes. Even though you are my little bro, you have taught me so much. You have given me confidence, strength. You supported me and gave me a strong desire to succeed. Everyone will have memories of you, but I will cherish our childhood memories forever. Our backyard cricket battles were incredible. You always had to win and keep batting on for days. I bowled to you for hours, and even though my body is sore and tired, I'm very glad that I played a major part in you achieving your dreams. The reason that I'm in Sydney and where I am today is mainly because of you. You told me to move to Sydney when I just turned 21, and I didn't hesitate to move. I was on the first flight because I wanted to share this journey with you. You always had the good looks, you always had the hair. And who said you needed braces to have a smile? You never took a bad photo, bruh. I'll never forget the time, I think you were 16, you needed a break, and you decided you just ran away to the Central Coast for 3 days. You asked me to keep a secret from Mum and Dad. I mean, how would they have ever known? There are lots of stories I could share, and while many are not appropriate for today, here are a few I'd like to share with you. I'll miss the regular calls, whether you're at home, interstate or overseas, and all the messages, just to check that you had the spelling right of the tricky and the not so tricky words. What about the weekly picture messages with an update of your rig? Although at times you fluctuated, I reckon the last image was spot on. You look pretty fit, bros. I'll miss our nights from the Palace in Mortlake to Cargo in Darlinghama, a combination I'll never forget. And finally our last stand, the ground was Pratton Park. The opposition was Mossman, of whom I'm quite fond. now I'm quite fond. The game ended up being a fitting final stand between us. A partnership of 210 was capped off with you throwing me the ball and having faith in me to produce my best first grade figures of 5 for 19 off 10 overs. A game that I'll never forget, and I'm proud to have been able to share this moment with you. My promises to you: firstly, I'll take good care of Mum, Dad, Megan, and of course your beloved cows. I promise to keep an eye on the investment market for some future business conversations down the track, which we have discussed daily for the past 2 years. I promise to get back on the horse and play the game we both loved. I will endeavour to become the best player I can be. Now it's time to say goodbye, brah. Take care. I miss you. I'm so proud of you. Thank you again for all the memories. I love you now and forever. Love your big brother, Jace.
We are here today celebrating the life of an amazing son, brother, friend, colleague, and idol to many individuals far and wide. As you all know, I'm Philip's little sister. I'm standing before you today to show my love and appreciation for the big brother that I'll never forget. Each individual within this room have different memories that involve Philip, and that's what we can take from this. He had an impact on so many lives, and it shows someone that always took care of himself, still had time to worry about others. Philip, I am so honoured to call you my brother, my best friend, and my hero. The memories we share will always be the link that keeps us together, even though you physically can't hug your little sister in the times of need. I know that wherever you are within this world, you'll be looking down upon all of your loved ones to shed light whenever times get tough. Your smile, the twinkle in your eyes, your witty charm, and the humour you provided will never fade. I want to thank you for being the most amazing brother I could ask for. They always say you cannot choose your family, but I wouldn't want mine any other way. Your presence will never leave the people that love and adore you. However, I know that I'll have you by my side every step of the way. I promise you, Phil, that I will continue to live life each and every day the way you did. From morning to night, your beautiful smile always came out, even if your life wasn't going to plan. You never took anything for granted and always knew how lucky and blessed you were from everything that came your way. I am so proud, along with Mum, Dad and Jason, with what you have accomplished within your short period of time. You were here with us. I will always remember and admire that you never changed or become somebody different while your life and career was progressing before your eyes. I'm sorry you cannot be here with us any longer, but I promise that all the dreams and thoughts we had about the future, I will continue in your honour. You always protected me and stood up for me when need be. I honestly couldn't imagine having all our memories with someone else. There won't be a day that goes by that I won't think of you. I promise I will talk to you every day and keep you company up there. You certainly have changed the way I look and appreciate life. I promise I will never take anything for granted from this day forward, and take any opportunity that comes my way. I know now it's time to say goodbye, but over the last few days I have realised goodbye isn't forever. Until next time, I love you, big brother.
We have two tributes for Phillip this afternoon from Corey and Michael, and Corey first, please.
Thank you, Father Michael. Phillip Hughes, and that was Phillip with a double L. Known to us as Hughesy. I'm not a cricket person, but I hope I can share a little bit of Phillip, of Hughesy, the man we knew outside of cricket. Phillip was passionate about Angus cattle. He spent every spare moment thinking about his cattle, researching genetics and planning his next move. Due to his cricket commitments, he did not have a lot of time to spend with his cattle, but he loved the fact that he could share his special passion with Greg, who diligently carried out the day-to-day duties. The beginning of 408 Angus. He had a slow and steady approach at first to ensure he developed a solid foundation to his Angus herd of cattle. His deal with himself was that he would buy a new cow to add to the herd every time he hit 100. The herd grew quite quickly. All of his hard work had started to bear fruit. He won many country show championships and, more importantly, bred excellent bulls to go into our industry. Bulls which topped local sales and became well sought after. I can remember the first time I met Phillip and Greg at the Royal Easter Show many years ago. We were exhibiting cattle and had two heifers in an auction that night. Greg and Hughesy introduced themselves during the pre-sale inspections, and we talked about the cattle. Much to my amazement, we suddenly seemed to have a lot of interest in our cattle. There were at least 50 or 60 people crowding around. I thought this was fantastic. As I don't have a great knowledge of cricket, the penny didn't drop until Hughesy had bought one of the heifers, Ella D52. I was so embarrassed and apologised for my ignorance, which Hughesy and Greg thought was tremendously funny. Hughesy and Greg came for a visit not long after that show, and it was an interesting day. An enthusiastic, energetic Hughesy, and Greg, who was reserved and taking it all in. As we were driving around the cows, I asked the question, which I often do: what do you want to get out of your Angus cattle? And as quick as lightning, he answered. He knew exactly what he wanted. He had the passion, the determination and desire to succeed. There's no doubt he would have been an outstanding father. He was a big kid at heart, yet in control of what he wanted to achieve. About 12 months ago, I can remember Hughesy came to visit, as he did as often as he could. But this visit was pressing, and I knew